गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री Gurave Namah. We are in Gyaneshwari chapter 9 and we are on verse 9. Verse 9? Yes, verse 9. 9. So, what is happening in chapter 9? Forgotten? You were not there. What happened in last 2-3 classes that we did in chapter 9? What was the main thought? Remember? No? You know it, but you don't know it. It's there at the tip of the tongue, but it is not coming out.
How to explain? Beyond words.
It is beyond words. But that which is beyond words, it is the Lord's speech which can express that. And that is Bhagavad Gita. That is scriptures. So what are scriptures? Talking about that which cannot be talked about. That is what it is. And what is Lord explaining through Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads? He is putting words to his experience which our mind can never understand. Intellect can never understand. Yet he is putting it in such a way that he paints a picture so that you feel inspired, you become single pointed, you love the theme that is being presented, and somewhere in that you lose yourself and merge into the Lord. Like a mother when putting a child to sleep, that child, he is not listening to, she's rocking her, her leg, and the child is there, she's rocking the child away, and with her mouth, can she put him to sleep? No. You can't force a child to sleep. But this fellow, he has got no choice. The mother's sound is so loud. And she's going, and eventually, before he knows, he falls into the rhythm of the humming, and whether it is humming, whether it is bhajan, before he knows, he gets sucked into sleep. Exactly the same way. Scriptures, when we fall in love with them, when we allow them to resonate within us, then we will get sucked into the divine. What will get sucked in? Not we. The mind will get sucked into the divine. See, this is the beauty of the scriptures. Any scriptures. It's not just the Hindu scriptures. Any scriptures. But the right approach is required. Because here, the mother is not there who is going to catch you and put you on her lap and that the Lord is doing. He has caught you, he has brought you to the satsang. That's all he can do. After that, this teacher is doing he is humming away.
Everybody will go to sleep then.
No, the lecture, the satsang itself is that hum. which if you, just like that child focuses on that humming and goes to sleep, you focus on the words, on the explanation that is given of the scriptures, and you realize. Shravana matrena. Studies of scriptures is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Active listening, dynamic listening, listening with awareness. If that is done, story over. But if things have not got over, you are still there, then the second part. What is that? Reflection. That means analyze your experience, analyze your life based on what you have heard, correct, convince yourself, remove your doubts, convince yourself, or change your convictions about life. And once your convictions about life are changed, by which automatically the doubts will be removed when you hold on to higher convictions, then contemplation automatically comes about. Automatically comes about. And when but that is all extra. The reflection and contemplation is extra. Why that came about? Because you did not listen properly. But if you listen properly, there and then, the reflection and contemplation, they all merge into one. And that is how Krishna, Bhagwan, he is Lord, no doubt. But when he went to Lord, the sage Sandipani, and the Sandipani, within 3 days, both Krishna and Ram, 3 or 4 days, within 4 days, they mastered all the scriptures. The teacher kept speaking, and they mastered it. Ramchandra ji, after having studied the scriptures for 4 days, became master. He used to teach his brothers. And what other guru did? He went on holiday. He used to hand it over to him. Or Ramchandra ji used to teach his other 3 brothers in the spare time. See, Krishna also, he used to teach Balram and other students. When they had any doubt, they could not understand, they used to come to Krishna Bhagavan. And in this way, the chapter began with Krishna Bhagavan. Remember in the 8th chapter, what was the topic? The 8th chapter topic was, what happens after death? I don't want to go to heaven or hell. The various paths were given. How do you go to, how one must leave the body at the time of death? What happens at the time of death? All this were because Arjuna had asked the question initially, that's why. And it was also told in the beginning of the 8th chapter that there is nothing called death. There is nothing called death. There is nothing called death. So one must not be afraid of an event called death. Understand, death is continuously taking place. Where? Where is death taking place? In the world, things are being born, things are dying. In the body, the cells are being born, cells are dying. In the breath is being born, in-breath is born, in-breath becomes out-breath, so in-breath dies, and so also with the out-breath. The emotions, they are also born, they also stay, they also die. The convictions, thoughts, they are also born, they also stay for some time, and they also die away. But have you ever felt your own absence? Have you ever felt your own absence, that you have died? Have you become absent at any given moment? No. So which means death, the principle called death, which is where as long as you are in the clutches of time, death will be there. Death is leads to creation, we can say. But it is only for the matter, not for the conscious principle. Only for the matter. So the conscious principle, the I never dies. Whatever your definition, whether you take I as ego, you take I as soul, you take I as the witness, you take I as the Atma, or you take I as the Paramatma, the Absolute. I never dies. Then what dies? Everything that it is illuminating, that dies. That appears stays for some time and then goes away. And that's the very simple, and that's what the Lord is telling in this chapter. He again, in the 7th chapter, he introduced the thought of Brahman, the reality, and he says, I gave the knowledge to the Lord Son, and that Lord Son gave the knowledge to Manu, and so on and so forth. There also the thought was that the Lord says, the whole world is strung in me as the beads are strung in a garland. Huh? What is a garland? In the 7th chapter we saw, there is nothing called a garland, isn't it? Or a necklace. Necklace is a misnomer, it is nothing. All there is a thread and there is beads. Either there is gold chain and there is gold nuggets on top of it, or gold beads on top of it strung around. So the chain is also gold and the beads is also gold. A composite of those two, chain and beads, is called a necklace. A composite of a thread and flowers is called a garland. One flower cannot make a garland, only thread cannot make a garland. What does only thread make? फांसी. क्या बोलते हैं फांसी को? Noose. So you can hang yourself. Not a garland. Just like that. Understand this point. Garland is an appearance. What is the truth? The thread and the flowers. Exactly the same way the Lord said, the whole world, I am the substratum, I am expressing in and through everything, and the whole world of names and forms is like a bead which is strung in me. And that reality, that Brahman, which the Lord, because who is Lord? Lord is He who knows what His essential nature is, and yet at the same time is, we saw that He says that when He is not looking at His essential nature, then what does He look out at? He looks out at Himself only, because there is nothing else other than Him. Because He is the creator of the creation, and He has created the creation out of the material called the Lord only, Ishvara. So there is nothing else for Him to, if like I am looking at you and I see you as separate to me, therefore I can give you a name, Nita or Lumina or Shailendra, etc., etc. But what will Lord see outside of Him when He opens His eyes? Nothing. He is only everywhere. He is only everywhere. And therefore He says in the 5th and the 6th, 4th and the, what is that? Yes, and this topic was the topic of the royal wisdom, the Raj Guhya Raj Yogo Nama. He says, all this world is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. Example, the whole world of names and forms called waves and ocean is pervaded, micro and macro, wave and ocean, is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. Is water manifest or unmanifest? It's unmanifest. When it manifests as what? Ocean or wave. So both the individuality and the totality, the micro and the macro, it is pervaded by something subtler than both, which is subtler, finer than the micro and the macro. And what is that? That is the unmanifest. The space can also say the same thing. All the 5 elements, air, fire, water, earth, exist in me, and I exist in them and support them in my unmanifest form. Space is not manifest or it's unmanifest, isn't it? All beings exist in me, but I do not exist in them. From a micro level, when you look up at this idea that is being presented, we can understand the Lord is coming down to our level because He is standing in front of Arjuna. He says that the whole world exists in me, but I do not exist in the world. Or just now you said the whole world in me. But how does he support the whole world? In his unmanifest form. In his unmanifest form. Nirgun Nirakar form supports the whole world of names and forms. If Arjuna starts thinking that Krishna, as he is seeing in front of him, is supporting the whole world of names and forms, that is wrong. If this is the situation, then you come to make it subjective now. If as a body, if as an individual who is identified to the body, you try to see the whole world is in me, you will not be able to see it. You will not be able to see it. Why? Your attention, the basic premise from which you have started is individuality. You cannot see it. And there is a seer. Therefore also you cannot see it. So we must, then how will we understand this verse? You focus on that unmanifest. You focus on that conscious principle. You remain aware of that life which is throbbing through you. Then the vision will be presented to you. You cannot create that vision. It will be presented to you. It will be revealed to you. Then, continuing in the 5th verse, he says, nor do beings dwell in me, behold my divine yoga. Though I do not exist in them, I give them being and sustain them. We see, from space's point of view, there is no air, fire, water, earth. From the sun's point of view, there is no day and night. From the water's point of view, there is nothing called ocean and waves. From the gold's point of view, there is nothing called ornaments. From the mud point of view, there is nothing called mud pots. See? From the rope point of view, there is nothing called snake. Cannot. This statement is understood from the absolute standpoint. Again he shifts, he comes down from. Then he says that though I do not exist in them, I support and sustain them. But yet we see everything, isn't it? Yet we see. We see the waves. So the water is saying, I do not exist in the waves and the ocean, but I support and sustain the expression of the ocean and the wave. But from the absolute point of view, there is nothing like that. But if he takes one level down, he says, I support it. Clear? And this is where we told you then the 6th verse, now he gives an example. How do I support and sustain the whole world without expressing as them? It is like, again, you can understand this. It's like you are, the consciousness, has not become, there is nothing separate to you called the mother, the daughter, the wife, the sister. But you sustain and support all those roles. But all those roles, where are they? They're only in the imagination, isn't it? They're only in the imagination. But they're not a reality. Who is the reality? The woman is the reality. The person is the reality. But all those roles, they, at this level only, at individual level, all those roles come and go. Anything that comes and goes is not real. Then what remains with you throughout life with respect to the roles? The person. The person remains, isn't it? Exactly the same way, the reality is not manifesting as the ocean and the wave, but it supports all the oceans and all the waves without becoming them. Then what is the lesson here? It's a big lesson. What is the lesson here for us as seekers? Do not become anyone. Who is miserable? The mother is miserable, the daughter is miserable, the woman, the wife is miserable or happy, and she keeps going through the the roller coaster of life, taking various roles. But is the woman miserable? The moment you want a semblance of what is going on in my life, I want to be on top of it. Immediately you fall back to be the woman, and all the roles stop creating havoc on you, isn't it? Just think about it. This is at this level. Now, if you go further back into ourselves, then be the witness. So, woman is the witness of all the roles, isn't it? If she becomes the witness of all the roles, then she will play the roles perfectly without getting lost in all the roles. But another understanding of this is, woman does not have any problem. The roles that she plays, those roles are having the problems with respect to whatever the role is being played. So if the husband comes, you don't decide, now I'm going to be a wife. Wife automatically expresses out of you. The child comes in front of you, the mother automatically expresses out of you. No decision making is going there, isn't it? So catch this, that in life, whatever happens, some role, wherever, whether you go to a job, the boss comes, automatically an employee out of you will come. You go to the traffic, immediately a complainer will come out. Why these people drive like this? You look at the news and watch the going on in the parliament, immediately how the citizen is born out of you, who wants everything right. You go to shopping, the moment you enter into the supermarket, you forget about everything. Immediately you start complaining about all the prices. My God, this expensive, that expensive. Again the price they have increased. Again the quantity they have decreased. See? So you are not making any decisions. Those roles are automatically popping out of you. Automatically. Watch. Be aware that I am sustaining all the roles, I am supporting all the roles without becoming all the roles. Because if I became any one role, then next role will not be able to express itself, isn't it? If I become that role, then the next role will not be able to express itself. And you take up at a larger scale, if I take on the role of a waker, then the dreamer and deep sleeper cannot express. If I become the dreamer, then the waker and deep sleeper cannot express. But all of them, when a situation or conditions are in the right conditions, they come and go by themselves, isn't it, on a daily basis? Catch this. Catch this game that is going on. And suddenly you will be free. Suddenly you will start understanding, it's only an understanding, what Lord is saying. You know that you are almost there, but you are not there. It's like that. So here the example to explain, the Lord says, just like the air moves in the total space, but it cannot touch the space supports the air which is moving around. Exactly the same way, now replace the space with the Lord, the Ishvara, and the air by all the names and forms and the roles that you play. So just like that, the Lord says, the entire names and forms are supported by me like the space supports. It is the substratum, it supports the movement of air. Similarly, I support the movement of all the beings, but I have not become any being, just like space does not become air. But can air function, express without space? Not possible. Can beings or this whole world, whole cosmos function without the divine? Not possible. Can the day and night function come and go without the sun? Not possible. But has the sun become day and night? No. Catch this. So we can only give you certain examples. A picture is being painted. What is this picture? You must have seen a canvas, isn't it? A canvas is there. It's when it is nothing is painted on it, you can see the canvas. Once you start, a stroke is made with the blue color, suddenly you don't see the canvas, you see the blue color only. Then a green color is told, then the brown color, then the tree, then the sky, then the sun, then the people, then the heart, then the field. Suddenly the canvas has lost and a picture is created. Isn't it? But when you are painting the canvas, can you paint the canvas on a loose canvas? It will keep fluttering. Your strokes will not bring out the desired outcome, isn't it? So what is required? A frame is required. Huh? You put the canvas in the frame so that it does not move, it is at the right tension, and then the painter paints. Exactly the same way, a seeker, a student, a disciple must sit in attention. That frame is a frame. This is the frame, and that what you call the canvas is the mind. That mind must not flutter here and there. It must remain taut. It must remain at the right tension. That it is allowing every word of the teacher, every word of the scripture to make the right strokes so that a beautiful picture is formed on that canvas. And what is the picture that we are forming through these words? We are presenting an idea which cannot be caught by the mind, isn't it? We are creating an idea, we are painting an idea with the verse 4 and 5, which intellect cannot understand, yet it has to understand. What can you understand? That the Lord is the creator and the Lord is the created also? How can you understand it? You say yes, but what have you understood really? It's only words that He is the creator, He is also the material with which the creation is made. But what have you understood? This is a camera. I can see it, I can experience it, I can touch it, I can use it. So this idea was presented. People say cosmos with many suns, galaxies. You can see it, you can experience it. But when we present this idea, what is given in the 4th and the 5th verse, or that the Lord says, I gave the knowledge to the sun, or the Lord says, the whole world is strung in me like beads. What have you understood? You have not understood anything. Yet, you know, something is there. What he is trying to say. I can understand that the Lord is the chain and Lord is the beads. But how is that possible? We are looking outwards. You will never get the answer. No. You must make it subjective. Because that Lord is not other than the self. So not in me as the body, but in me as the consciousness. The creator is the consciousness, and the entire world of names and forms is strung in me like the beads, isn't it? Think. There are different ways. I can present many different ways. For the moment it's enough. All that will come later on also. Later on, 13th, 14th chapter. 13th chapter. So the Lord says, just like the entire air abides in the space, similarly, all the beings abide in me, but I have not become them. In this way, now we come to the 7th verse. He says, all beings, O son of Kunt, oh, 7th verse, na? No, we have done that. O all beings, O son of Kunti, pass into my Prakriti at the end of a cycle, and again when the next cycle starts, I send them forth. This also we explained last time, few weeks ago, and that is Krishna is telling Arjuna, who is the son of his Kunti being his mother, and he says, they pass into my Prakriti at the end of the cycle. This cosmos that you see at the macro or micro level, there is creation and there is maintenance and there is destruction. And whenever there is pralaya, whenever there is destruction, whenever there is laya, whenever whatever has manifested becomes unmanifest, it does not come back to me, O Arjuna. It goes back to its source, and its source is Prakriti. Another name for Prakriti is Avyakta. Another name is Maya. Another name is ignorance. At the individual level, another name is deep sleep. So where has the waking and dream become unmanifest? It has gone back into the deep sleep state, which is a state of ignorance. Where will the total cosmos go when its day will conclude? It will go back into its source, which is a Prakriti. See? A wave, once it is created, it must go back to its source, isn't it? It must. Anything that is created in life must merge back into its source. So similarly, what is this whole world? This whole world is an expression of Maya. Maya became, or the Prakriti became, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, 3 waves. And those 3 waves then multiplied and became all the multitude names and forms. So when they go back, all of them, if you want to bring them back, okay, they came back to Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Where will Sattva, Rajas, Tamas go back? They'll go back to their mother. See? So understand in this way. And when the next cycle starts, again it will be sent forth. His Lord says, if I am not there, it will not come out. A dead man does not become awake again, isn't it? Why he doesn't become awake again? He has gone also into sleep. But why doesn't he wake up? Because life is not there. But as long as life is there, you go to sleep, you will wake up. You go to dream, you will wake up. You have got no choice. You have got no choice. But we try to exercise our choice. Sleep a little bit more, dream a little bit more. Nothing. Everything is happening the way it must. Then what I have to do then? Am I redundant? I'm retrenched from my job position of being the doer and the enjoyer of life. Yes, you are made redundant. Then what you should be? What is your position? Remain as the witness. Remain aware. Watch this whole thing coming and going. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in it. Every situation will demand a response out of you. Every situation will demand a role to be expressed out of you. If my mother comes in front of me, I cannot act like a husband. Son will automatically, I like it or not, there is no question of that. Do I have a choice? No. Son will automatically express. If I come to a class to take the satsang, I can't behave like a small child. I can't behave like a Hitler. Or I can't say, today I am not going to teach. No, I can't. If that intention is not to teach, so that some another form of teaching can take place, then it is okay. See? So every situation, every moment, various roles are just popping out of us. Watch it. Don't get caught up in them. Okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? See, even at your sensory level, you're not expressing through all the five senses. You may be expressing through all the five senses at the same time, but your attention is only on one sense at a time, isn't it? Sometimes you are seeing, sometimes you are hearing. If you are hearing, you are not seeing 100%. If you are tasting, then your other four senses are not at 100%. See? Watch yourself. Sometimes when you are looking at me, your ears are more open and your eyes are just, theek hai, just look at him. How does it matter? Or you look at the background plain color. Sometimes you are looking at me without looking. Sometimes you are hearing me without hearing, isn't it? Many times it has happened. I know I have done it. Think about it. At a given moment, if you, right now you may not be able to catch it because things are going very fast. But if you slow it down a little bit, and you can see that happening when you go to sleep, only one interaction at a time is possible. But it's happening at such a great speed that we think, I'm seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, thinking, all at the same time. It is not so. Continuing, then in the 8th verse was told, resorting to this prakriti of mine, this potentiality of mine. Prakriti is potentiality, inherent potentiality. I bring forth time and again all these creatures, helpless by the force of prakriti. So the Lord, if the life is not there, if the conscious principle is not there, if the reality is not there, then can the prakriti function? Can the matter function? A dead man cannot function, isn't it? So that's what the Lord is saying, that because of my presence, because of my will, and what is His will? It's a will-less will, desireless desire. Because it's just in a matter of speaking. Who can have desire? Who can have desire? Come to the basics. Who can have desire? Who feels that the world is separate to him, and therefore a desire in anyone is always about something else other than you, isn't it? You, whenever you want something, you don't say, I want myself. Nobody has said that. You say, I want to realize myself. Because you feel that the realized, the consciousness is separate to you, therefore you want realization. And right now that thought is okay, but it must eventually, that also must go away, because what you want to realize is already you. See? But it is helpful at the moment, that's all. So the Lord is saying, I bring forth time and again all these creatures, helpless by the force of Prakriti. So when you wake up every morning, do you see a different world? Huh? This, arey yaar, aaj husband change ho gaya. My husband has changed. The children have changed. Yesterday I had 2 girls, today I got 2 boys. What happened? Huh? Oh my God, I got to spend 20 years taking care of the kids. I wish they grow up. Next morning you wake up, suddenly they are married and you are now grandmother. Dream it can happen, but in the waking plane, it doesn't happen. When you wake up, it's still the same house, the same children, the same family, the same kitchen. You know what spices and grains where you have kept, they're still there. Huh? Do you have the same experience when you go back into the dream? Everything is there. Is it there? Is it so? Every day it's a different dream. Every day it is a different dream. Very rarely what you dreamt tonight, yesterday night, you will dream the next day also. Very rare. Every day it's a different world, dream world. Think. Then what is that which is keeping this whole world intact? See? The Lord says, after everything is, where does the whole world go? Back into the mind. Where does the mind go? Back into its cause. What is the cause? The deep sleep state. Both at the micro level as well as the macro level. Both micro and the macro. And then when the night of Brahmaji is over, so they say that 74 Chatur Yuga cycles or 100 Chatur Yuga cycles. That means Sattva Yug, Satya Yug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kali Yug. So 4 yugas, which is 4,032,000 years. 100 cycles like this is equal to the day of the Creator. And equally long is the night of the Creator. And when he wakes up, again the whole universe is there. Again he will start creating everything. See? So if 70, 100 times there have been Satyayug, Tretayug, Dwapar Kali Yug, so 100 times Ramchandraji was born, 100 times 100 times the the various incarnations of the Lord took place. 100 times you are there. Yes. So is there any possibility of freedom then? If this continuous chakra, the cyclical creation is going on and on and on and on and on. Yes, there is. Come to realize. You will shoot out of this gravity of the continuous motion. Then continuing, and here we saw that the seeker so we see that the Paramatma, the Swarup, what is the Swarup? Swarup ko kya bolenge? The essence of the reality is to remain detached. It is not attached to anything. Why? It alone is, isn't it? And what is the character, swabhav of Paramatma? Swabhav of the reality? Swabhav of the Lord? The same Lord Krishna who is appearing in form in front of Arjuna, he says at the end of the Mahabharata, before he went away, at the end of Mahabharata war, when the Arjuna's daughter-in-law was struck by a missile, he says, if I had lived a life of non-attachment and I had never taken sides of the dharma or the adharma, meaning I have been a witness of righteousness and unrighteousness, let this child come back to life. And the child comes back to life. So it seems that he was the instigator. It seems he's married 16,000 wives. It seems that he's the maker of so many kings and breaker of so many kingdoms. But all he is doing in an unattached way. Therefore he can make that statement, isn't it? So this Paramatma, first, he is asang, he is unattached. And what is his character? What is his disposition? His disposition is that of compassion. Always. From an absolute standpoint, he is always, or not absolute standpoint, any standpoint, from his essential nature is detached, a detachment to everything. Because how can water get attached to wave or ocean? It's not possible. Then what is his swarup? What is his swabhava? What is its character? But out of compassion, the water allows the ocean to exist and the wave to exist. Again and again. It doesn't say, no, 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 I don't like this ocean, I should remove him. It does not say that. He does not say even to a wave. I think this is a destructive wave. I think tsunami, I think I should not allow it to express. No likes or dislikes. Ever a witness. Now we come to the 9th verse where we have to start today. न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु. What I just now said. He says, nor do these works of creation bind me. Nor do these works of creation bind me. The Lord is saying that I create this whole world out of myself, but this world is not able to entice me. The world is not able to enslave me. Correct? Is that your experience? Make it subjective. The whole world that comes out of you, how does it come out of you? You wake up, the world is still not available, eyes are closed. Then you wake up, slowly, you realize you are in the bed. Very slowly, catch yourself doing this tomorrow morning. You will be in the bed, you will turn, you will still comfortable. Still, what all you have to do, you have to go to work, all those thoughts have not come in your mind. You are still in the bed, you are only aware of yourself, then you are aware of your body, then you are aware of your bed, probably somewhere in between you are aware of your breathing, you become aware of your uncomfortable position, so you fix yourself, you are aware of the warmth in the bed, then and then suddenly your attention after some time goes, oh, have I overslept? Check the time. Suddenly you realize, oh, it's time. Then you become aware of the time, and after that, suddenly the shower, the brushing, this, that, everything, and suddenly, oh my God, I have to get to work on time. And the whole world suddenly just rushes into you. But does the world rush in, or the mind expresses as the whole world? Whole world appears in you how? How does the whole world appear in you? As thought, isn't it? Everything in this world that I know is only a thought, isn't it? And where is the thought? In the mind. Before, was the thought of the world there in your mind? No. Then what was there? Only I am. Only I am breathing. Only I am the body. I am in the bed. I am warm. I am comfortable. The thought of the world had not expressed yet. See? If you were attached to this world, you could not go to sleep at night. It was impossible for you to go to sleep. If I was attached to her, then whole life I will be attached to her only, because I will not be able to detach from her and get attached to him. But look at our eyes, continuously they are attached, detached, attached, detached, attached, detached. The ears also attached to one sound, detached, then get detached, then attached to another sound, then get detached, then again attached to another sound, continuously. The breath also attached to in-breath, then detached to in-breath, then attached to out-breath, then detached to out-breath. Continuously it is going on. Think, look at it subtly. Same thing with our tongue, attached to so many different tastes. And how does it go through various tastes? It has to detach with the previous taste in order to get attached with the next taste or next thing coming into the mouth, isn't it? Even now while I'm speaking, I have to get first I'm attached to one word or one idea, then I have to get detached with that idea, then I present the next idea or the next thought. And this is going on. So when you look at everything from this standpoint, are you attached to anything in this world? No. But there is a feeling that I'm attached, isn't it? I'm attached to my house, I'm attached to my children, I'm attached to my bills, I'm attached to my car, I'm attached to my body. There is a seeming attachment, but when analyzed, there is no attachment possible. There is no attachment. Then what is realization? What is God realization? Recognizing that you are not attached to anything in life. When you recognize this, that it is not possible for you to attach to anything, then this statement will make sense to you. What is that? Nor do these works of creation bind me. The whole creation in the dream comes out of my mind, exists in mind, goes away from my mind. I wake up. Am I attached to that dream? No. Every day it is happening. Come to the waking state. When I wake up, the whole world comes out. Really speaking, this whole world is in the mind only. There is a seeming attachment, but when I explained the way I did just now, is there any attachment possible? Not possible, sir. So, technically speaking, logically speaking, this world cannot bind you. Just like the dream cannot bind you, this waking world also cannot bind you. It is not possible. I remain like one, indifferent, detached from all these actions. The Lord is saying, I remain unattached from everything. You are also unattached, detached from everything. Udasinam, you are indifferent. Where is it that you are indifferent? You want to get the bombshell? I'll give it to you now. In your mind, continuously at this moment, thought after thought after thought after thought is coming. Whether it is good, bad, ugly, who cares? Thought after thought after thought is coming. Isn't it? Some you like, some you dislike. Some give you joy, some give you sorrow. Isn't it? Some make you sleepy, some make you inspired. Some you are interested in, some you are not that interested. But between every two thoughts, there is a gap. There is a gap. That gap is the state of indifference. See, right now, are you practicing indifference in your life right now? I'm asking you. Are you practicing indifference? Right now, are you practicing or not?
Happening.
Tell me how. Are you practicing indifference right now? Are you indifferent to anything here? In this room?
I'm doing the listening.
Yeah. My question is not what you're doing. I'm saying, are you indifferent? Listen to the question. Are you indifferent at this moment or not?
Not actively, passively, yes.
To what?
To everything that is happening.
See, at this moment, your focus is on me. Are you not indifferent? You know there is a clock ticking away, there is a TV there is a backdrop there is a laptop here, there is a camera there is this young monkey there, and there is a heater there. So many things are there. The color of the wall, the curtains, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You know it is there. But are you attached to them? Is there any like or dislike towards all those things? You are indifferent to them. You are indifferent to them. See? You are indifferent then. Indifferent does not mean you are ignorant about them. You are not ignorant, but you are indifferent. That means, even though they are present, they are not able to grab your attention. Why? Your focus is on something. When our focus is on ourselves, then everything that is going on in the mind, all the emotions, all the sensory stimuli, they may be there, but we are indifferent to them. When we are a witness, we become indifferent to everything. We accept everything, this is what I keep saying. Accept everything, reject nothing, retain nothing. So you know you are in the world, you are in this room, you are not rejecting it, but you are not retaining it. Meaning there is no memory of it is being created. Memory only gets created when you interact with it. See? So really speaking, and how I explained to you before, really speaking, there is no attachment possible. So you are moved through life, dance through life, playing the role, whatever situation you find yourself in, play the role to the utmost, to the best of your ability. What's next? Move into that role. That's when performance, your best performance comes out. But when we are lingering, what I experienced in the previous job, I don't want to experience. I have become wiser now. What I experienced in the previous marriage, now I don't want to experience. What I experienced in the childhood, I don't want to experience when I grow up. I'm still living in the past then. I'm not living in the present. Optimum performance is only possible when you are living in the present moment, unattached to everything, playing the role to its max in an indifferent attitude within. People must not know that you are being indifferent. You know you are indifferent from inside. You are unattached from inside. But the role has to be played. Role has to be played. Because the purpose, why you are playing this role with detachment, because you are very clear, in my life, the goal is self-realization. The goal is, I must come to recognize myself as I am. So I cannot spend too much time indulging in any role or anything in this world. I must come back to myself. See? Then you will live the way because if I live out there performing a little bit less as a son or as a friend or as a teacher, a guilt will remain. I did not give my best. Guilt will remain. That, oh my God, I could have done it better. See? And once that virus goes in, it will make you perform better. Then you will keep comparing. You are still living in the past. You want to better your actions next time. But when you know, you must have seen me when I am doing it, I think I am, or he knows, why should I think, that I put 100% in what I am saying. There is no expectation that you must understand or not understand, as long as I understand. To the best of my ability, in my best capacity, that I am doing service to you in whichever way it is the Lord is prompting me to. See? Same way, you must also fall in that I am, to the best of my ability, remaining attentive and listening to and making subjective whatever is being told to us. There is no question of comparing with anyone. There is no question of competing with anyone. There is no question of guilt. There is no question of expectation. See? So have that type of disposition. And that's the disposition here the Lord is talking about. Nor do these works of creation bind me, O Arjuna, since I remain like one indifferent, detached from these actions. So if Lord is indifferent, detached from all the actions, and that same Lord is expressing His life through us, will this life, the conscious principle within us, is he not detached to everything? He is detached to everything. And that's the real you. And I have given you a few examples now to show that you are not attached, but there is some idiot who is feeling that he is attached to everything. That idiot has to be dissolved. That idiot needs to be dissolved. That idiot is the ego, a non-entity, a ghost, who expresses as the doer and the enjoyer. This fellow needs to be dissolved. And you cannot, because at any given moment you are a doer only. If you are nodding, you are a doer. Oh, the satsang was fantastic, you have an enjoyer. Then how do you dissolve the ego? Not by doing anything. Not by doing anything. But sir, I don't know how to not do anything. Okay. Let the doer contemplate on the divine. Let the doer surrender to the divine. The doer will dissolve himself. See the vision that was given, I told you in the last class. A wave to wave. The vision of a wave towards another wave is always how others are a source of misery to me. Isn't it? Temporary joys, but majority misery. Because no mother can be always happy with her son. No wife can be always happy with her husband, and vice versa. Or the children, or the siblings. Not possible. Fights will be there, arguments will be there. So it's not it is not the final solution. So whenever our attention is on other waves, individual is thinking about other individuals, there will be likes, there will be dislikes, there will be joys, there will be sorrows, there will be friction, there will be elation, there will be depression, there will be competition, there will be comparison, all this will go on. But when this wave looks at the ocean, when this individual looks at the total, at that very moment, his attention is withdrawn from all the waves and his attention on the total. Immediately a seeker is born. Remember we did this last week? Immediately a seeker is born. Then he will keep thinking. Every time he slips down from that vision, he feels disturbed. Then the abhangas, the abhangas are compositions of masters when they felt separated from the divine. In that pain that they experienced and the thirst which they experienced to merge back into the divine, they came out as those poetry, abhangas. Then, when the ocean looks at the wave, when the total looks at the individual, what happens? When in you, initially, you as an individual are looking at other individual, only problems, continuously strife. When you as an individual start thinking about the Lord, the stories of the Lord, the picture of the Lord, the name of the Lord, slowly, a seeker is born. As the seeker is born, the mind is becoming calmer and calmer and calmer, and as a result, it is not able to entice the seeker, the consciousness, the seeker within. somewhere along the way, every now and then, he gets a flash. What is that flash of lightning? Suddenly he takes the position of the infinite. He takes the position of the Om Sahasra Shirasha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva. He's thinking about all these verses that, oh, the divine is that who is functioning through all the eyes. The divine is that, the Lord is that who is functioning behind all the limbs. He is behind all the minds. Oh, what will be the feeling like if Lord is not other than me, the consciousness? What will be the feeling like to express through all the eyes at the same time? What will be the feeling like to express behind all the hands at the same time? What will be the feeling like to express behind all the speech at the same time? The moment you take that total position or you find yourself in a flash, suddenly you get sucked in. When you think of the infinite, you don't know what are the dimensions of sleep. Waking world, you know, "Arey, yahan itna hai." Huh? Deep sleep, you know what is deep sleep? How can you know what is emptiness? And yet you seek that emptiness every night, isn't it? When you are single pointedly, as long as you are thinking about sleep, a sleeper is still there who wants to sleep. But somewhere, just before going to sleep, you enjoy that bliss. You remember, and boom, you're gone. From one moment to the next, you're gone. Isn't it? Same thing happens in meditation also. Same thing happens when you, as an individual, you are thinking of the total, and you're somewhere along the way, you start taking, not out of your choice, but it happens that you start thinking that how will it be to express through all the eyes, all the ears, all the nose, what it will be like, the ocean, what will be the experience of ocean in which all the waves are already there, what it will be like. Gone. You get sucked in. Sucked in into what? Sucked in into the sanctum sanctorium. Sucked in just like you are drinking from a straw. Sucked in. If you go into space also, everything is getting sucked in somewhere. You don't get pushed out, you get sucked in. Think. Sucked in. From the individuality vanishes, the totality emerges. Where individuality was. Wave continues to exist. Wave continues to exist. But the one who was calling himself a wave has now taken the position of the ocean. And he cannot explain it. It happens. But he has to attempt again and again, thinking of Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarup, that this Lord is eternal, the Lord is unborn, the Lord is undying, the Lord is supporter of everything, the Lord is the inherent in everything, the Lord is the substratum of everything. What does take each one of them? That the Lord is unborn and undying, and you keep thinking about it, suddenly you will get sucked into it. Sucked into Him. And what will be the vision of the water? So we have come from wave to wave, wave to ocean. Wave to wave is strife and problems and joys and sorrows. And wave to ocean, a seeker is born. That is individual thinking of the total. When total is thinking about the individual, he cannot think because everything is the ocean only. So the individuality is absorbed into the totality. And what will be the vision of water? The absolute. What will be the experience? It will be a non-dual experience. Water is the absolute, non-dual experience. He does not see anything other than, well, he doesn't have eyes. Everything is him alone. Everything is water alone. So there is nothing else other than water. So from the absolute consciousness point of view, there is no comment, there is no there is no sense of otherness, there is no differences. Everything is the water alone. Everything is the absolute alone. Everything is non-dual. And in this way, these are the four visions that are given when we think about these few verses that are given. And he says, I remain like one indifferent, detached from these actions. Now let's see what Gyaneshwar Maharaj has to say, but it's only 5 minutes left. I have given my explanation, whatever was inspired. Now, whatever Gyaneshwar Maharaj says, we'll see it in our next class. Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. And Gyaneshwar Maharaj gives, I have given you few examples from, I always make it more subjective, but he gives even more examples. That is the beauty of Gyaneshwar Maharaj. And we'll see those examples so that the point is drilled into us, that we don't forget it ever again. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Did we conclude at 9 or 7 last time? I can't remember. I'll check.
7.
7.